far as I'm concerned.
Then people don't like what you see.
I hereby call this June 12th meeting of the Public Safety Committee to order. We have a fairly short agenda today. Before we get started, it is our common practice to always thank our police department, our fire department, and our emergency management departments for the work that you do to move our community forward. I will say a special thanks and congratulations to, first of all, the police department, starting with my left. I know we've had some recent appointments, Chief. I want to say congratulations to all who were appointed. Thanks for your leadership. To the fire department, Chief Mayo, I know that we just had a recruit class graduation. Congratulations to you, those recruits. I were not able to make it, but that does not reflect how I feel about the organization. And on behalf of this committee, I know they agree with me. We thank you all for your service. With that being said, members of the committee, we have a short consent agenda. Are there any consent items that should be pulled? If not, we just entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
So moved.
Got a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please vote yes. Opposers likewise. And sometimes it takes the technology a little while to get around, but we'll get around to it.
I made the motion.
How about we do this? We'll do a voice vote. All in favor? Aye. We have a motion and a second. We all in favor? Everybody said aye. So now the consent agenda is officially passed. If we need to go back to that, Madam Attorney, we can do it at that time.
I think we're good. Go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am. We'll move forward to item G1, please. Madam Clerk.
Item G1, information regarding Clark Campbell Transportation Center safety and security update.
I'd like to recognize our Assistant City Manager, Mr. King.
Good afternoon, Chair Taylor and council members. I'm going to kind of tee this up, and then I'm going to hand it off to our WISTA General Manager, Donna Woodson, so she can come up and offer a brief presentation on this matter. But to give you a little bit of context, our city staff and WISTA staff became aware of some issues of concern that were occurring at the Clark Campbell Transportation Center. Issues of folks using that facility really for purposes outside of its transportation function. There were some behaviors that were occurring there that Donna became aware of through her staff and through some concerns she had heard through our riders that use that facility. And it got to the point where we said we probably need to address this matter and start thinking of some solutions for these problems that we were experiencing. So our staff kind of formed an internal task force. So it was staff from the manager's office, myself, WISTA staff, DOT staff, PFM, the attorney's office, and we've called in WSPD to help us out on a couple of the issues we've been working with here as well, to kind of have a broad approach to some of the ideas to help address some of these issues. So without further ado, I'll invite Donna up, and she can kind of walk through these slides, and she and I will both be here to answer any questions that may come at the end of this presentation.
Good day, ma'am.
Good afternoon, Chairman and members of the Public Safety Committee meeting. Today, I come before you on behalf of not only the citizens of Winston-Salem who utilize the Clark Campbell Transit Center, I also come before you in favor of the staff, the Winston-Salem Transit Authority staff. Safety has always been the #1 issue and concern for us as far as transit is concerned. We often think about safety when we think about driving the vehicles. But along with the safety of driving the vehicles, we also want our employees and our citizens who utilize the Clark Transportation Center to feel safe as well. And as Assistant City Manager just said, I have repeatedly have had complaints and concerns, not only from my staff, but from citizens who want to utilize the bus services at the Transportation Center and are not able to because they don't feel safe. And that immediately sent a red flag up for me. And when I brought that to the attention of the Director of Transportation and the Assistant City Manager, he immediately responded and said we need to do something about this immediately. So before you this afternoon is a short presentation of some of the challenges that we've had in the activities that are not transit related at the TC. Loitering, long-term stay is one of the first bullet points, and an example of that is when my employees report to work in the morning at 5 a.m., There's people that they have to walk over to enter the facility, people that utilize the transportation center for other reasons than transit. They're sleeping there. That is a concern. At 5 o'clock in the morning, it's dark. When an employee comes to work, they want to feel safe when they're parking their vehicles until they get to their desk. So that is something that we experience on a day-to-day basis. I've received pictures of those type of activities, and that's something that we would like to address and make it safer for our employees as well as our passengers. The use of illegal substances. On average, about twice a month, we have to shut down the restrooms. And we have to shut those restrooms down because the toilets are not functioning. And we've found that that is because of the needles and things that have been disposed of in the restrooms. We all know that that is a problem for more than one reason. It immediately allows our passengers and our employees not to have a restroom to use, as well as the cost for repairs. Recently, they had to go underground and repair the pipes because of these issues, and that should not take place. That affects everyone at the transportation center and the surrounding businesses around there as well. That's another with the restroom facility abuses I just stated. Verbal and physical altercations. With the camera systems on a daily basis, we have passengers that are riding the buses, but we also have passengers that are there that have nowhere else to go. And when you have nowhere else to go, then you actually entertain the people that are around you. That leads to physical, verbal altercations that the security staff has to address and the WISTA staff have to address. That is very challenging with the limited resources for security, because at the current time, we only have 2 security officers on duty, and that's a large center that they can't manage throughout the day with only two bodies. Inadequate badge readers. We were looking at some of the badges, the access to the terminal, and if people are able to get in at all different types of hours, that becomes a problem as well, because you can't control the flow and the people that actually access the services. Unrestricted access during operating hours. We're looking at changing some of the operating hours for the transit facility, and this is consistent with other agencies, because with the task force, we have polled other transportation centers just to get a general idea if they're having some of the same challenges that we're facing, and it's not uncommon. Every center that I spoke with the safety managers as well as operations managers, and they all have the same story. They all have the same challenges with the loitering. They are either in the place of implementing a loitering policy or making it more strict. They're also looking at other measures as well with increasing, and some of the agencies, rather than using security, they're using their own police department. We know we don't have the resources here in Winston-Salem, so we're proposing to increase our security officers to help with the maintenance of the security needs. With limited controls of hours, we have limited control for the activities, the illegal activities that take place. And all of these have come about, again, because of reports and complaints that I've received inside and outside.
Ms. Wilson, before you move forward to the next slide, are any questions on the security challenges? Mr. Mundy.
I would prefer to see the entire presentation and then ask questions, but
Fair
I do
enough.
have some questions.
Please proceed, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. So this, again, is the peer review, and these are the actual agencies that I actually spoke with, and just to poll them on their challenges that they're having at their facilities. And again, they're using police officers. They actually have reduced their hours. All of them have access to public restrooms and things of that nature, but their hours of operation are slim, and they're looking at reconsidering their times that they're open to the public for the same reasons that I've spoke to you about this afternoon. Some of the proposed enhancements, we are proposing to have badge readers. So badge readers, if accepted, will be placed on all of the doors, so that way that it can be controlled to access members who are city or WISTA employees during the times that the center is open for access. We will also proposing a metal detector so that any passengers or anyone that has to come through during the hours of operation would have to come through the metal detector. And the metal detector that we're looking at is one that they use that is like high maintenance, and it has the ability to have a high capacity. So we know with that timing is a situation that we'd have to address. So with this type of metal detector, people will be able to walk through with their belongings and not have to take them out and put them in a bin or anything like that. It will actually detect anything that's not wanted once they walk through the metal detector itself. So that's what we're proposing as an open gate style. And they wouldn't have to take off backpacks and everything. It would also detect anything that is not warranted as well. These are used at other rail stations, airports, and things of that nature. So that's why we tailored and looked to that type of metal detector for the transportation center due to the high volume that we have there every day. Increased security office presence. So the increase in the security officer will address the issues that I raised earlier in reference to not having but 2 officers on duty at one time. Right now we have a company police officer and an armed or an unarmed security officer. So we're proposing to add additional staff. We've already added 1 company police officer in the PM, so we do have some with arresting powers from 9 a.m. until 10 p.m. at night. And that's very important because a lot of times the passengers, they know who can arrest and who can't, and they'll challenge you on that. So that by having that company police officer on staff, they know that there's someone there that can arrest them immediately if they're, doing anything that's not warranted, and they don't have time to leave and flee if we call WSPD. So they are, that will be needed and necessary. So the additional contracted officers would help to manage the metal detector and also to parole the transportation center as normal during their walkthrough inspections to make sure that they are minimizing any unwanted activities. We have also already, thanks to the task force and Assistant City Manager Aaron King, had requested the presence of the WSPD, the K-9 rotation, and that has already started about a month ago, if I'm remembering correctly, and we've actually seen the positive effects of that as well already. So now what they do is come down with the K-9 at any specific time. There's not a specific day of the week or time of the day. They just randomly show up, and when they show up, people show out. They leave, and we've seen that, and which was a really good thing to happen because now they know that the city of Winston-Salem will not tolerate those type of behaviors at the transportation center. So it's sending a message that we want this, we need this transportation center, but we need it to be used for the purpose, which is for transportation needs. The next steps, the Worcester Board and the Council, we are preparing to bring a revision of our Code of Conduct to the Board in August, and that's just to strengthen our Code of Conduct and things that won't be allowed, give a clear understanding to our riders and the people that utilize the transportation of activities that will not be warranted, along with the steps that will take place leading up to them being permanently banned from the transportation center if they cannot adhere to the rules and the conduct. The revision of the operating hours, once the task force completes that time frame that we want to open and close to the public, we will bring that to the council in August as well for adoption and approval. In the fall of 2023, we look to procure the metal detectors if that's approved, and the installation of that and everything will go into the FY 2024 budget for the security enhancements. This is the proposed estimated cost and expenses annually, and we have, staff have looked at the different funding sources so that we can provide that additional funding to Worcester's budget. And we are grateful to the PFM, Property Facility Maintenance, again, has been with us along the way, providing this information as far as the cost for security, the extra security, the metal detectors, the the card readers, and everything. So we have partnered with them and with those totals. And that is the conclusion of my presentation. And again, I just want to reemphasize the importance of our safety and making sure that our employees feel safe. As I stated earlier, I've often received complaints from passengers that are actually at the transportation center and saying, Ms. Woodson, what are you going to do? We don't feel safe here. And in addition to that, as everyone is aware, I have a driver shortage due to COVID, like any other agency. But what we do also have, in addition to the driver shortage, is a shortage in our customer service. My customer service is located on the second floor of the transportation center. I have lost, in this past year, 4 employees. And when I have an employee that decides to leave for whatever reason, I ask that they do an exit survey, so that I can actually see why they're leaving, see if there's an opportunity for me to keep them there, and if there is not, see if there's something that I need to do to change so that I will not have people to leave for those reasons. One of the main and the first things that they put on there as to why they're leaving, I don't feel safe. For a manager to hear that an employee doesn't feel safe, that is a problem for me, because safety is number one. Everyone needs money. Everybody needs that. That's a guarantee. But you can't spend money if you're not here to spend it. And with the climate that we're in today, I need for my employees to feel safe when they're coming to work at 5 o'clock in the morning or leaving at 11:30 at night. And when I have a problem with maintaining retention for employees due to safety concerns, that's something that we can change. And so we come to you this afternoon to just present this to you and hope that we can have you on board with us and help us to make the transportation center safer. I'll entertain any questions.
Thank you, Ms. Woodson. I'll start by saying the safety of our staff and the safety of our citizens is paramount. That is at the top of our list of things to think about, and I appreciate you bringing these updates and this report to us for consideration. We'll start with Mr. Mundy, and we'll work our way around. I saw hands everywhere. Councilman Mundy.
Thank you, and I'll tell you, I am already on board. We've known for quite a while that this was a problem, and I really appreciate your coming with some next steps and some costs and so forth. I've been in some meetings with some of your staff with the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership. This is real. No one's exaggerating. It's long overdue for us as a city to address it, but I do have a couple of questions. Does this include the back parking area at all, or are we just talking about the terminal, the entrance, and the inside?
We're talking about the whole parameter, so it does include the back parking lot, the wall, and everything. We've addressed that in our conversation, so the attorney's office has made us aware that that parameter will be covered as well.
Great. The other is more of I think a statement than a question, and the statement is, while we need to do this, we still have an entire group of people who need help, and those are the people who are sleeping in front of the facility. I would love to see our continuum of care involved in this, and I mean, you've got a captive audience, literally, to make sure that they know about our resources and try to get them lined up in our resources. I've made this statement before also. I think our homeless shelters do a wonderful job at what they do, but there's a huge void. And after their clients, after their guests leave for the morning, there's nothing for them to do at all. And I don't know of any nonprofit in Winston-Salem that is providing any kind of good day activities. And without something for them to do, just like our youth, they're going to end up doing things that they shouldn't do. So I challenge our local nonprofits with come up with something to help these folks during the day.
That is so true, and we have actually spoke about that and talked about in depth as well. We have rallied around some different ideas as far as having something actually on site, agencies on site, of whether we rotate them out, over a period of time to offer resources to those that need or those that want the help. So once we come back, we'll have a more detailed list once we confirm agencies or nonprofits that are willing to come into the transportation center and offer those services to the riders.
Thank you.
Councilman Larson is recognized.
Thank you. Thank you for an excellent presentation and starting a discussion on something that's overdue. I guess what I'm interested in is a code of conduct statement. And do we have a code of conduct currently on site?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have a code of conduct. It just does not include some language around loitering because we needed to get some more information from the attorney's office on what we could do as far as the loitering and how we could enforce it. So it's just a revision of the current policy, the code of conduct that we have.
So it's working with our clients or our passengers and making sure they understand what that code of conduct is. How do we let them know what was acceptable conduct on site?
Well, it's actually posted on the inside the terminal, and it's actually on our website. But what we're working on is some technology. So where we have the TVs, we're going to look to changing those TVs out and having monitors. So we have ongoing messages about our code of conduct and anything that's transit related, that they'll have that as a visual. And we'll probably do something interactive. I don't know if we'll do a TikTok or something to make them understand what we need them to understand in a way that they do.
Needs to be pretty clearly articulated on site, indoors and outdoors, what our expectations, and after hours as well.
Yes, sir.
Clearly. And following up on Councilmember Monday's comment, we have a new program, of course, called BEAR in the police department or in the fire department combination, and I think they may have a relevant part to play in your problem as you go along in dealing with special needs.
Yes.
And you coordinate with them. Thank you for taking initiative on this.
Thank you. Yes, sir.
Councilwoman Burt.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Woodson, for a very much-needed presentation. And we do care about the safety of our employees and the safety of our citizens. We want to do everything that we can to make sure that this is a safe location. So thank you. I have a couple of questions. The first question, you informed us about needles being used at our facility and causing damage and issues. Will the metal detectors be able to detect needles?
I am not sure about that. I can find out. I don't know that they would be able to detect a needle. They're more so for like knives and guns and things of that nature. As far as the needles, I don't know, but I can find out and respond.
Thank you. And then as far as our peer cities and their changes to their daily hours of operation, we don't have that information yet.
I do. I can share that with you as well, the operation hours for the other cities that I conducted that with.
And I want to make sure I understood correctly. Are we thinking about changing our hours to 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. or?
No, currently we open at 5:30 in the morning, and we close at 11:30 at night. So we're looking at reducing that to a smaller window, not too much, but it would just be access to the public at a smaller window. So for instance, an example maybe we may start at 7, open the doors for public at 7 and close them at 10 o'clock. So they'll still have, be able to utilize the terminal during those hours, but just shortening the window of our open access to the public.
Okay.
But we'll bring that recommendation out when we have the full report.
Okay. And I think that Councilmember Mundy hit on what is a bigger issue, not just at our public safety location, but throughout the city. We need to pull our resources together for individuals who have issues, mental health issues, or issues of homelessness. We have got to find a way to address these issues. Not only do they exist right here at the Public Safety Center, they exist all over the city, and we have got to have a plan where we bring those resources together. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Councilwoman Scipio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Ms. Woodson, for always a good report. Very needed. We do have so many complaints about people who may not be riders, who are creating situations that aren't always aesthetically pleasing around the transit center. So I'm making an assumption that, and this may be wrong, but I'd like for you to correct me. The problems that we're having, are they with riders or with non-riders?
The majority of the time, they are non-riders, to be quite honest. And I say that because when the security or the staff approaches them, they're there for hours and hours. Generally, if they're riders, our buses run in about an hour 15 frequency. So if they're there for a couple of hours, that may be a rider. They're there for 3 or 4 hours, and I'll give you one example. We have our monthly transit meetings where we have appeal processes for individuals who have been banned. So in attending one of them, that there was an individual that was banned from the transportation center, and she actually, in her appeal process, she spoke and said that, well, I was there for 4 hours because I was watching my friend's children. So she actually used the transportation center as a daycare. And that didn't say that she was homeless. It just told me where she was choosing to use her services at, because it was easier for her, the person that she was babysitting for, to access her at the transportation center, get on the bus and go where they needed to go. But that's not what the transportation center is used for. So that's just one of multiple reasons that people use the TC, and it's not for transit needs.
Right. I thought that was the case. Where do our employees park? Do they park in the deck across the street primarily, or somewhere else?
Some of them park in the parking lot itself, but they do park at Cherry and 6th Street in the parking deck.
Cherry 6th Street, okay. And therefore they have to walk?
Yes, they have to walk, and then some park at the admin building, and then just ride the bus down if they're not taking a bus from the admin to the TC.
Okay. Now, you also mentioned that you were going to restrict access to the public entrance. Is that the center door that you're talking about, or does it also include the two indoors, one at Liberty and the one at Trade?
That includes the Liberty and Trade Street doors, those on the surrounding area. The metal detector is proposed to go at the door inside the bay so that people can go in and out. So those sliding doors will still be accessible. We're looking at making the card access only on the perimeter, Trade Street, Liberty Street, and then the back parking lot.
In the back, okay, that was, okay. And I just want to throw this out, not that we'll do it again, but there was a time that at the bus stations, there were locks on the bathrooms, and you had to pay to use the toilet. At some point, that got changed. But it was a way to make sure that you paid to go to the cleanest toilets. And that's just the way that was. And I don't know what we're thinking about with the restrooms, but I do know at the train station in Greensboro, there is a code. If you are a passenger, you get the code to have access to the restroom. So I'm not certain if we're going to be as stringent as that, but it is certainly a solution that people in public transportation understand, getting the code. So thank you very much.
And we had, discussed that as well. We had run some ideas by each other, maybe having a key, but that would require the staff to manage that. The code is good, but the code will get out.
Yeah.
So you still,
have
that
to
just,
change
it would maybe minimize it a little, but not to that degree, because people will give the code and we'll still have the same issues.
And is the second floor, can it be secured? Because I didn't know it was accessible to anyone.
It is, it has been secure. We actually, probably a couple of years ago, or maybe shortly after I came, we actually made the elevator card access only, so only city and Worcester employees can access, and they can't get into the stairwells either. So the second floor and third floor are not accessible to the public.
So when employees are telling you they didn't feel safe, it's more coming to and from?
Coming to work, leaving work, and then the first floor,
Okay.
that's where they sit and, entertain, and that's where they see everything.
Yes.
And, they get all types of activity coming to the window.
Thank you.
Thank you for your patience, Councilmember McIntosh. You have the floor, sir.
No, I want to echo my fellow council members in telling you what a great report presentation. I mean, you always bring something, whether we want to hear it or not, or whether it's good news or bad. I mean, you bring stuff that we are able to kind of sink our teeth into, and I appreciate that. One of my big questions was, is the bad behavior coming from people who are actually paying a fare or not? And my sense was that it was not. The finding solutions to this is important for multiple reasons. First of all, the safety of our clients and the folks who work for us. I mean, that's probably ultimate. But increasing the efficiency of our transportation system, when we're struggling already to get ridership, this doesn't help people want to get on a bus in Winston-Salem.
Right.
I mean, our ridership is down through many reasons, COVID, whatever, but having to sort of go through that gauntlet before you're going to buy a ticket and get on a bus is certainly something that I would think keeps a lot of people away. So whatever we can do to change our routes to not have to go through downtown, but also to make the transportation center much more safe. It goes a long way towards achieving the goal that we all want to see, which is getting people to work efficiently and economically. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other, Councilmember Mundy?
One more follow-up question. I think when we reviewed this problem with the partnership, one of the issues was people came in to use the free internet. And if internet is that easily accessible, is that something that we need? You don't need to answer this now, but is it something that we need to address as part of this plan if that is what, in fact, is drawing some people who are not riders? So that's something to consider as you move forward with next steps.
That has been addressed, actually. We do have a code on there so that if you don't have the code, you don't have access to the Wi-Fi. So we
Great.
did take care of that issue. We have some other things that we're working on that actually contribute to the loitering. You know, we have the wall chargers, you know, so that adds to safety because people sit on the floors, lay in the floors, and they're watching their movies or on the phone, charging their phones. So those types of things. So we're looking at making some changes on the, you know, just the infrastructure itself. So looking at still having a place for our Greyhound or our transit riders that need that access, but not in the location that it is currently. So that's a part of our discussion as well.
Any other questions or thoughts for Ms. Woodson regarding item G1? Seeing nothing further, thank you, ma'am, for the presentation.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Madam Clerk, item G2, please.
Item G2, reintegration and youth development programs update.
All right, Ms. McCarter, hope you're well today.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Councilmember Taylor, Chair of the Public Safety Committee, committee members of the Public Safety Committee, as well as other city council members who are present today.
Good afternoon.
You'll give me one moment. There we are. I am Kimona McCarter, Operations Office Coordinator, and I'm here today just to provide an update on our reintegration and youth development programs. Those programs consist of the Successful Outcomes After Release, which is the SOAR program, as well as the Positive Path program. I'm sorry. Please bear with me on my, he's the inner. Okay. Thank you. As an overview of both programs, the Successful Outcomes After Release is a 6-month reentry program. We also provide work experience as well as personal and professional development training in this program. It happens to take place, you get work experience for 4 days a week, which is generally Monday through Thursday, for 28 hours. Its purpose also is to supplement the existing openings in city government in the labor and clerical fields in particular. The personal and professional development curriculum is a 1-day curriculum that takes place on Fridays for 4 hours. There is a mentorship and career coaching element of this as well. Our Positive Path program is a 5-month training program with a 6-month follow-up services that we provide. It focuses on 16 to 24-year-olds, and those components include primarily the exposure to science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and the arts, the STEAM curriculum. We do have a personal and professional development curriculum with that as well. We offer educational assistance in the professional development side of it for the GED or post-secondary degrees. That meets 20 hours a week, and it has classroom and field trip experiences. A general overview of the SOAR program's expenses. These expenses are based upon 8 participants, but naturally class size may vary. Those participant salaries are around $15,000 per participant during that time period. The personal professional development is listed as $375 per participant. However, I would like to say that we do actually have community partners who come in, as well as city departments who come in and partner with us and offer a much greater value of their services that they charge 0 fees for. Also, there's a uniform and boots, office supplies for a total of $15,593.75 per participant. The Positive Path program, these expenses are based upon non-apprentices per class. Class size may vary as well. Those salaries are around $7,800 per participant, or as we call them in this program, apprentice. These, they have a personal professional development. I echo again, then those services are of much greater value than the $278 due to the time and experience that we receive from our community partners and city partners. Additionally, they are offered the same services. The biggest difference is the 5-month follow-up services that we offer with this program. More information on our SOAR program. Since the inception of the SOAR program, there have been a total of 103 returning citizens in this initiative. 27 of those participants have not completed the program. However, 76 have completed the program. Some of the reasons for program incompletion include actually if there were previous charges that they may be convicted on, behavioral or code of conduct issues. 59 of those 76 participants who actually completed the program have obtained employment or pursued educational goals. As you can see the breakdown here, 33 of those participants secured part-time or full-time employment with the City of Winston-Salem, non-continued employment with the city through a temporary agency, and there were also 16 that were hired outside of City of the Winston-Salem government. Those may have been with private contracted companies as well. 1 pursued post-secondary education. And please be mindful that these outcomes are the outcomes that we receive at the immediate completion of the program, that this program does not offer that follow-up for 5 months afterwards as well. Below, you'll see some of our city department employers. I would like to add that we are in the process of recruiting additional city departments to help us with these list of employees as well. Additionally, you have a listing of some of our personal and professional development areas and topics that we cover with the partners, both city as well as external partners in the community. This is the curriculum that I mentioned. These are additional topics on the curriculum that are covered as well. While the SOAR program, in the SOAR program, the participants are also eligible to receive what we consider to be supportive services. And these services include bus passes if they are in need of transportation to and from the program, GED referrals, reimbursement if they do take the GED test or they need their North Carolina driver's license. We do work with the DRIVE program as well. We also try to give them assistance, some of them if they would like to get their CDL license. Please be mindful that the reimbursements, though, do not include any fines or court fees that are included in the reimbursement of the licenses. Financial assistance with short-term training, such as if they were wanting to go get additional training with the HVAC or something like that with Forsyth Tech or the Goodwill. Work-related shoes and tools, as long as they do have a note from the employer, we are happy to assist with the cost of that as well. Anything for the support and success of the actual participant. And we offer staff support, which includes the resources, letters of recommendation, et cetera. These are some pictures of our SOAR program on some of the personal professional development days and some of our partners. This is our actual employees in our last class that are on their work sites. Next up is the Positive Path Pilot Program update that I would like to provide you all. Before going any further, though, I would like to bring to your attention that I do have some guests with me here today, and they are with the Positive Path Program. If I can get you all to stand.
You're here.
Thank you. So with the Positive Path Pilot Program, in May of 2022, then the City Council authorized the implementation of the Positive Path Program. The pilot program cohort of 8 apprentices began in July of 2022. 3 of those apprentices did not complete the program. However, 5 did. The 3 that did not complete, those were either a code of conduct, behavioral, or either they moved outside of the City of Winston-Salem city limits. The outcomes regarding that particular class, we have one that was employed, one employed and obtained a GED, one employed working on an associate's degree, and one ineligible for the follow-up services, and that was the one that moved outside of the city limits. I would also like to add that each of these participants are actually employed or either obtaining their post-secondary education in the area of STEAM. So it does show that the program is working in that area. A second cohort of 8 apprentices started the Positive Path program in April of 2023. One of those apprentices are no longer with us, but as you see today, we do have 7 with us today. Regarding the curriculum of the program, as I talked about, the mission to reshape the lives through the exposure of STEAM. We offer mentors, hands-on training, life skills, and anything to enrich the lives of the populations between the ages of 16 and 24. And that follow-up of this 5 months is also listed here as well. This is some of the program curriculum for the Positive Path program. You'll also see here some of our community partners as well. Those include internal departments as well as external partners. Same here for additional partners. And these are, again, some of the supportive services that are offered. This is our Positive Path program, and some of the actual field trip days or either classroom days that we've had guests in to speak as well as staff. Before we get to questions, I would like to actually share with you a presentation that the marketing department did for us at our SOAR class graduation. If you will bear with me one moment.
I think we always have time for good news, so take your time.
Thank you, sir.
Over the past 6 months, the class of 2023 has been working hard, learning new skills, and compiling a track record of successful employment. They spent 4 days each week working with a city department. They also spent 1 day each week in the classroom learning personal and professional development skills, such as basic computer functions, home ownership, and team building. Having successfully completed the program, the class of 2023 has shown that they are motivated and ready to soar.
Hi, my name's Steve Crockett, and I work for the Department of Winston-Salem and Sanitation. I'm a laborer. I ain't never think I was gonna work with the city, but it happened. It's a new experience, you know, working with sanitation. I mean, meeting different drivers, working with different people, and learning different areas of the route of Winston-Salem. But yeah, I really do love it. I like, you know what I'm saying, just the experience of doing something different. So our program has been really good because I've been doing a lot of working besides working with the city, like far as just getting my entrepreneur business going. So our program helped me out a lot, and I learned different things, you know, different people. It's a different outlook on life when you, especially if you just coming home from prison sentences or jail sentences. They give you an opportunity just to better your life, you know.
Steve came in with us. He been pretty good. We like his attitude. We put him on different routes, put him on a specials route. We assigned him to a permanent route for like a month or two, I think. He learned different routes. He always did what we asked him. He even cleaned out the wash pit one time for us with a shovel. So he been pretty good with us. I think it gave him an opportunity to learn something different, see how we work in the sanitation department, and give him an opportunity to see where he'd like to apply himself and his skills, and definitely get him an opportunity to get a plumbing with the city.
My name is Candice Roseborough. I work for Rex and Park maintenance crew. It's helped me because I've actually got to get out here and get more skills. I have a Class A CDL, so, you know, just trying to transfer my skills into different places and see, you know, the things that I'm good at. And they give me an opportunity to basically do, you know, different tasks and stuff like that. What I like most is that I get to get out and interact with the community and the people in it. Because most of the time, you know, you're just stationed in one place where you stay at on that one side of town, and we actually go all around Winston, and we come in contact with different people each day. I would tell them that it would be a great thing to do because it's going to guide you in the right way, and it's going to teach you different skills that a lot of people don't actually get being incarcerated or on the street.
Man, I don't even know where to start. She's phenomenal. I'm gonna say that. You know, this is my first time having a female from SOAR, and she outworks the guys in my opinion. You know, she goes above and beyond, definitely. She's never backed down from anything. Anytime I say, hold on, you don't have to grab that. Nope, I gotta give it here, let me do it, you know, let me have it. So she's a great, excellent, you know, outstanding worker, seriously. We have a lot of positions that's hard to be, you know, hard to stay filled. So when we can get extra help from the SOAR or temps or whatever, however they come in, it's a big help because we've been short-staffed for as long as I can remember. So when we get those extra hands in, I'm definitely grateful to have them.
Hi, my name is Crystal Walker, and I am with Recreation and Parks. I am a rec assistant here at Miller Community Center. I love it here. My job is fantastic. The best part about my day is when I work with the kids and interact with people, make them feel at home and make them feel welcome while I'm here. Every aspect of my job, it details me into moving, acting, and speaking with everyone who comes through that door. And that's an amazing thing to me. If I can make someone's day, make someone smile. Our program, it has helped me in tremendous ways. It has helped me to be able to grow, to be able to follow directions, to be able to maintain a balance in my work life and at home as well. It has helped me to broaden my horizons with my career. I can use these skills with everyday life, everything that they have taught me in the program. But more so about my career later on down the road, if I choose to do something else, I know how to properly do a resume. I know how to have a successful application and a successful interview. So everything that they put in the program is very beneficial. It has helped me a great amount. Successful outcome after release, that's really what it stands for. And I really feel as if I have been very successful in this program, and it has worked a lot. I'm very grateful for it. If they were looking for something different, looking for something that they're trying to get away from and trying to do something different with bettering themselves, but don't know where to begin, I would definitely talk about the SOAR program with them and the foundation of it first to start out with. Let them know that, you know, hard work and dedication, plus the motivation for you to actually do what you need to do with determination. All of that implies together. So when you're ready, you're ready. But if you're not, it's okay, because they will always be there.
Crystal has been a great employee in addition to our team here at Miller Park Community Center. She comes to work every day with a positive attitude, is full of energy, and has a bright personality. During her time here, she has worked very hands-on with our youth programming. This includes spring break camp, our after-school programs, and our We Play Day camps. She's taken initiative to create activities and not been afraid to jump in and implement them with the participants. We are very proud of Crystal and all of her accomplishments. We are very thankful that we've got the opportunity to work with her, and we look forward to the creativity that she will bring to summer camp this upcoming season.
Hi, my name is Kenneth Williford. I'm here with the Operations Blue Bag. I like the program. It's a really cool program. First of all, I like to come out here and make the community look better. You know, I get to see the work I've done. Once I ride by some of the locations we did, it's pretty easy to do, you know, so it's really no bad perks to it, man. I enjoy it. It's good exercise as well, so, and I also love working for the community. Man, it look good on the resume, and while I'm doing this program, I've met other people within the city to help better my opportunity. It's a wonderful program. If you get the chance to do it, man, you'll love it. So I advise anyone to try to sign up for the program and try it. You'll love it.
My name is Joshua Murphy. I'm part of the Operation Blue Bag program. Honestly, I didn't realize it, but like I kind of like seeing a difference in the community, like cleaning up the community and stuff. Like it's kind of satisfying, like seeing the trash and then like after we're done, like you know the difference and stuff. It's definitely a lot of connections and stuff like that I've met, and you know it pretty much made it a little bit easier for me to get a job through the city. And yeah, they help out a lot. They've been trying to help me get my driver's license back and stuff like that. So it's really beneficial. Because I know me personally, I just was kind of in a slump and I just felt like I wasn't getting anywhere, but like this program helped me get back into the groove of things and like working, and then it's like, it's a it's a gateway for other things, you know what I'm saying? Even if you don't get a job through the city, there's other, you know, opportunities that they'll show you and stuff. Like learning how to start a business and like the different things that come with starting business and like the failure rate and the success rate and all that stuff, that was very interesting. I always wanted to start a business, but I never really, you know, took the initiative, but now I'm definitely like trying to go ahead and, you know, do that, because yeah.
We're excited to have individuals such as Ken and Joshua helping the operations department with city upkeep. The litter and trash and foot traffic is tremendous in our city, and this program allows them to be effective and efficient in providing instant quality upkeep in areas that we're not always able to regularly maintain.
Ms. McCarter.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Are there any questions?
Thank you for the presentation. Any questions for Ms. McCarter? Well, I started on this end, so what we'll do is, we're going to start with Councilmember McIntosh, and we'll work our way down this way.
I was going to more comment on the quality of the presentation. Ms. McCarter was my gal for many, many years, and I realized that she was probably wasting her time working for me. She needed to be up at the microphone. So thank you very much for the presentation. All good. Thank you.
Thank you. It was excellent training. See, I was prepared and I knew what the room looked like.
Councilwoman Scipio.
Thank you for this insightful presentation. I had a couple of questions. Sometimes we always think of people not, well, we think that most of us have all of the right credentials to do things. I'm concerned about people who may not be totally literate, and I don't know if your program is able to identify adults who may have some literacy deficiencies that has hindered them from proceeding into higher level opportunities. And I don't know if you deal with that. I was just wondering if that was something you dealt with, if you can determine their proficiencies and then give them support in that way.
I think that's an excellent question. As I stated, we listed some of the community partners that are on there as far as externally. However, there are two elements to that. We are working on increasing those community partners, and that is a good point. I do know that I just finished Leadership Winston-Salem, and some of my cohorts in that class, that's been a major part on Educational Day, is talking about the literacy in the school system and the progression with that. In doing so, then I have made some connections with Read, Spell, Write, and other community organizations that are willing to partner with us on that. In addition to that, I think that it is important that we go back to the elements on there, even in the budget part, about the assessments. So that assessment piece in the beginning will be very important for us to be able to tell what exact services, instead of going through a whole 6 months or 5-month period and not addressing what the real needs are.
And my second concern is that we often think that persons who are coming back into the workplace, who've been in other interesting journeys like prison, aren't qualified for anything other than entry-level kind of positions, and so they get relegated to I call them sort of low-end kind of jobs. but I would like to work with you to see if we can get you connected to the Innovation Quarter and some of the businesses there, because our community is moving towards more high-level kinds of positions. And I think that we probably can make a big dent in getting at least a couple of people down where the action is flowing right now. So I'd like to work with you on that.
I would love that. And also, I would like to mention, in reference back to on the Positive Path side, one of the partners on there is the Wake Forest University Regenerative Medicine. So we are tapping into that area, but I would love the opportunity to add your connections to our program.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilwoman Byrd.
Yes. Thank you so much. Outstanding presentation, and I think the marketing department did an outstanding job as well. A couple of questions. I'm going to follow behind Councilmember Scipio with the concerns about literacy and making sure that the participants are proficient. The more proficient they are, the better they'll be able to help their children and their families and be more productive citizens. So I really do like that suggestion. I'm also interested in the number of participants for both programs. I would love to see that number increase because the need is definitely there. And then I would like to see some data as far as immediate connections as far as employment with the city. Specifically, as soon as the individuals complete the programs, I would like to know more about how we are getting them hired immediately. And then I would like to see some data to show a year or two or on down the line where they are, if they're still with us. Thank you.
Councilman Larson.
Thank you for an excellent presentation. I'll give a shout out to our chairman who initiated the SOAR program and has done so much to make it develop over the years. And thank you for your work, Mr. Chairman, on that. I do have a sort of a question of the relationship to both programs to the exterior outside of the city itself. And you seem to have a large number of sponsors for the Pathway program, but maybe less so for the SOAR program as far as how we place people outside of the city or engage organizations outside of the city within the SOAR program. And I thought one of the intentions was eventually to find corporate sponsors outside of the city that would help advance both programs financially as well as giving job opportunities in internship programs. How do you see that program developing in the next few years?
As stated before, Councilmember Larson, we are currently working on enlarging our partnership base. So in doing so, then yes, that's not just our intentions internally, but externally with those other agencies outside. I do agree 100% that it is important, one, as you said, financially, to see how we can increase that corporate support, but also to provide them the similar and same experiences also as we are providing in that Positive Path program.
Well, it's an excellent, and we have enough vacancies right now in the city that we can fill a few of those slots if you can keep filling them for it. We're very appreciative of that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Councilman Mundy.
Thank you for the presentation and congratulations on your recent graduation from Leadership Winston-Salem. Are we at full capacity? Is the only thing standing between us and servicing more people budget?
Currently, budget-wise, we are okay. Internally, then we are, as I stated, working on our partnerships. I think one thing that's important with both SOAR and Positive Path is to build our partnerships on the proactive end of it, not to just rely on internal marketing from our marketing department, but for us to actually reach out and connect more with the SOAR agency side of the program, as well as with community grassroots. I think that probably the impact of enrollment or the marketing piece did come from a little decrease during COVID, but to actually get out in the community and be able to market and make the programs more aware and more visible to the public is going to be vital.
I think if we really did the total math on this and how much we spend on training, how much we spend on recruiting, when our HR department has to go out and staff a fair all day, this could actually be a cost-neutral proposition. I really do think it could be. Are we addressing the Spanish-speaking audience at all?
So we recently, prior to the beginning of the Positive Path program, then of course with the DEI initiative that's going forward, the bilingual aspect of it, we do have literature for both programs in Spanish. We have not had any applicants or participants actually come in from that area, but in partnership with Hispanic League or KPASA and other marketing sources is that. So yes, we are reaching out. We just have not had anyone to actually enroll yet.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. So I'll end by saying, as a community, of course, we do have that responsibility to both protect and to serve our community. Not only do we do that through our police department, our fire department, our emergency management departments, it's important that we create programs that work on intervention and prevention services. They're all equally as important in terms of public safety. I'll say a couple of names and then we'll move to adjourn. Anytime you call names, you always get in trouble, so if I miss you, please forgive me, but I want to start at the head of the ship. That's Mr. Garrity, who has a short time with us. Mr. Garrity, I always like to say thank you for your leadership. These types of programs wouldn't exist without you, so we appreciate you. To Assistant City Manager Taylor, all the operations staff, Mr. Mack, Ms. McCarter, I'm sure I'm going to forget somebody, and then Ms. Peoples-Joyner over with the police department. Everybody who helps to make these programs a success. If I miss you, charge it to my mind and not to my heart. We agree. We thank you for your service to this community, and we appreciate all you do to help our city to be a better place to live and work and relax. Members of the council or committee, is there any further business that should be considered for the good of the order? Seeing no further business, we hereby consider this meeting to be adjourned. Thank you.